What's up guys, Steven here, welcome back to another video, and it was about time. Yale has released a new smart lock, the Yale Linus Smart Lock L2. Now I used the previous generation for a little bit more than 1 year, a really great product, so I'm really excited today to do a little comparison and show you what's new. And also we're going to check out the Yale Smart Video Doorbell, which is also a really great product. So I'd say let's just go and let's check them out. So guys, there we go. Here are the products from Yale which I'm using in my home. And first of all, we have the main thing, which is the Linus Smart Lock L2. So the latest smart lock from Yale. Now, 1 year I was using the Yale Linus lock, so I want to do a little bit of a comparison between the locks to show you what has changed and what has been improved. Then I also installed the Yale Smart Video Doorbell, which is a great doorbell in combination with the doorbell chime. So before we have a closer look at the doorbell, maybe let's check out the Linus Smart Lock L2 and what is actually new. So let's get started. Now on the left side we have the Yale Linus Smart Lock L2, so the latest version, and here we have the original Linus lock which I have been using for the last year. Now the original Linus lock was actually already a great product. What I really liked about it is that you can easily change the batteries. There are 4 AA batteries inside, so when it runs empty you can just simply replace it with any batteries, and most people always have batteries at home, so it's quite easy to change that. And the installation of the Yale Linus lock L2 is pretty similar to the original version, but there are some differences in terms of the mounting plate. So yeah, the lock just locked itself because it's still paired to my home. Anyway, let's have a closer look here at the mounting plate. Well guys, here we have the mounting plate from the previous generation, and it was already a great product, so easy to install. You could use it for the Euro cylinder. You have those 3 screws right over here, so as long as your cylinder sticks out 3 millimeters from the door, you could just attach it, use the screws to tighten it up. And here are some additional screws. If you need, you could also use the supplied tape or glue, which I used to stick it to the door. So it was really simple, but I just had the feeling that those screws are a little bit tiny, and if your cylinder doesn't stick out that much, it's a little bit difficult to get it really tight on the door. However, on the Linus Smart Lock L2, they totally redesigned that plate to also make it work for a lot of different doors. And there is now a big screw on the top here. It is also super easy to install because you only have 1 screw to tighten it up, and it just feels way more refined than the original version. However, the original version was already great and it is super easy to mount, and after that you just stick the lock on it and you close those levers and it is attached. However, the Yale Linus Smart Lock L2, it has now inside, let's check it out, here a little switch which you can switch up, so let me show you that, and it is moving up those metal pins, and it sits really tight on there. But yeah, this is not the only thing that has been improved. The Yale Linus Smart Lock L2 also now comes with an integrated battery that you can take out. The battery has the charging system built in. You just have to use a USB charger to connect here, and then you can charge it. So you just take the battery out, you connect the USB-C cable, and there's a tiny LED which will light up to indicate that the battery is charging. So capacity-wise, we're looking here at 2950 milliamp hours. That's a quite big battery, and if you multiply that by the battery voltage, you're looking at 21.24 watt hours. So this is a pretty massive battery for a lock, and I think it will last much longer than those AA batteries. However, the only downside is that it's probably good to get a spare battery, because if you're charging the battery, you want your lock to work, right? So it's maybe good to order a second battery, so you can simply, when the battery runs out, you just swap it, and the other battery you just charge and put in the storage. But I think it's a great system because it is super simple to take out the battery. You just slide the cover off like this and pull the battery out. So it's much less of, I would say, trouble than getting out those batteries where you have to pull this little strip, and if the strip here is a little bit too far down, you have to use a screwdriver to get the batteries out. So it is much more simple now to change the battery, but that is not the only thing. There is now Wi-Fi built in. That means this little thing here, the Bluetooth to Wi-Fi bridge, you don't need anymore, which is a huge benefit because this is another thing blocking your power socket. On the original Yale Linus lock, there is no Wi-Fi on board, so you need a bridge. But on the Linus Smart Lock L2, you have Wi-Fi built in, so you don't need a bridge. But battery mounting, these are not the only improvements. Now, there are also improvements in terms of the form factor, the speed and the noise. Now, regarding the speed, it's twice as fast as the original Linus Smart Lock, and there were sometimes some complaints from my wife, yeah, it takes too long to open the door, which I never experienced like that. For me, it was just fine to wait a few seconds until it opens. But with the Linus Smart Lock, it goes really fast. You just unlock, boom, door is open. And also the noise, it's less noisy. So if you don't like this sound like a drill from some of the smart locks, really have a closer look at the Linus Smart Lock L2. The noise, it's really good. Now, also in terms of the form factor and weight, there are improvements. As you can see, it is smaller, the knob here is a little bit wider, and it just feels like a much more refined and polished version than the original Linus Smart Lock. So overall, that are basically the improvements on the lock itself, but also the Linus Smart Lock L2 comes with those Yale dots, and they are really great because those are little NFC dots you can place anywhere in front of your door, behind your door, on your desk, next to your bed. So if you just tap that with your phone without doing anything else, it will just lock or unlock the door, which is really great if you just want to tap outside to open, or if you're, for instance, in the bed and you just want to lock the door, you just tap it with your phone and it locks the door. So really, really great. Now, both of the locks also come with this little magnet here, which is the door sense, which you install next to the lock, which basically checks if the door is open or not. And on the Linus Smart Lock L2, there was also a nice white cover included. So yeah, it really matches my door frame. So overall, that are pretty much the improvements. You don't need a bridge anymore. It is more silent. It is twice as fast. You have an integrated battery, so plenty of improvements also design-wise. And now let's talk a little bit about the mounting. Now, many people ask me, is my door compatible? Can I install the smart lock on any door? I have a weird old door or something like this. And my answer is always go to the Yale website and do the compatibility check. They have really a great compatibility check, which will just ask you some questions about the door. You just answer it and then you see if it's compatible or not. Now, the most important things is that your cylinder sticks out the 3mm, like I've mentioned before, that your key fits in there. In my case, I had to do some adjustments. I'm a little bit of a DIY person and I was too greedy to buy a new cylinder, so I made it fit on my door. But otherwise, I could have gone the easier way and just buy a cylinder that is length adjustable, because Yale is also selling a great cylinder that you can adjust in length to make it stick out more from your door. And changing the cylinder is really easy. It's just one screw on the side, take it out, put the new cylinder in. So if your door says not compatible because you don't have the 3mm of the cylinder sticking out, make sure to also get the Yale length adjustable cylinder, and make sure that your key actually fits in here. My key was too long, so I had to cut it off a little bit, but that's also no problem if you're a little bit, I would say, a DIY person. However, if your door is fully compatible with the compatibility checker, you can install the smart lock in literally less than 5 minutes. It is pretty simple. The only important thing is that you have a safety cylinder. Now, many people ask me, how does the smart lock actually work? So it stays on the inside of your door, not the outside, and it is turning the key. So there's always one key attached to your cylinder. Now, if you don't have a safety cylinder, that one key inside will block it from putting in another key from the outside. So if the smart lock, for any reason, which has never happened to me, fails or the battery runs out, you maybe want to have a spare key so you can get in from the outside. But if you don't have a safety cylinder and you have the key inside, you cannot use another key from the outside. So it's very important to have the safety cylinder, which allows you to put in one key from the inside and a key from the outside and turn. And this is just another safety function. If there is anything wrong with the lock or the battery runs out, that you can actually access your home, because we always keep a spare key at, for instance, my parents, so I can just call them, hey, I forgot to charge the battery or whatever, I just need my spare key to get in. So this is really important, but as always, the installation is pretty straightforward. In my case, I just had to cut a little bit off from the cover from my door. I was just too greedy to buy a new cylinder and I didn't want to change it because we already have a pretty expensive safety cylinder. And my cylinder is sticking out enough, but only if I remove the cover. So I had to take off the cover, cut it out, put the cover back, and then install the Yale Smart Lock, which worked perfectly fine for me. And after that, the installation was really easy. Also, the door sense installation is super easy. That this magnet here, you can just stick it to your door with tape, double-sided tape with the plastic on, and you don't even see it anymore. And also, if you want to remove it, now I removed this lock, it is pretty easy. Even the magnet, you just heat it up a little bit and then you take a small screwdriver or something like that and you just pop it off. So you can also remove it without any problems. Even if you're in a flat that you rent, that you don't own, you can install a smart lock. That's not a problem at all. You just need to make sure that the door and the cylinder is compatible. So installation wise, it is pretty simple to install it. It's a great smart lock. But now let me show you the smart video doorbell. Now literally guys, this is probably the best video doorbell I've tested out so far. Now I had some other video doorbells, but all of them require a damn subscription to get any kind of recordings. Unless you want to have a Chinese doorbell, which I really don't want to have. Now other than that, the Yale Smart Video Doorbell has 2 to 4 days of integrated storage for recordings with no need for a subscription. It is absolutely annoying if you have to get a subscription just to get some recordings in front of your house, and 2 to 4 days is more than enough for me. After that, it just overrides. Now, the good thing about this doorbell is also that you can receive a call when someone rings your doorbell. I have another doorbell outside and it is just pissing me off because I get notifications, and you know how it is on the phone, you get a notification, it just disappears, and then I just miss the calls if I don't hear the chime. And here you get a real call, so it will just stay on your phone until you just pick it up. So with the smart video doorbell from Yale, I never missed anyone ringing anymore, which is pretty great. Other than that, the video quality is also great. It's full HD live view and two-way audio, so you can also talk for it. And mounting this one is the easiest thing ever. Nothing to drill, nothing to screw. You can just stick it with double-sided tape to the outside, and it just clicks in there, and then you can use a SIM pin to eject it from it. So no one can just go there and take it off. So it is also pretty simple to install it. Now regarding the battery, so I'm using it now for around 2 weeks and battery still shows full, even though you will see after there were plenty of video recordings so far. So it's right now April, so it's quite warm. The battery is performing absolutely great. I'm actually excited to see how it will perform in winter. But as I've told you, installation is just simple. If you want to attach it to an AC outlet, you can also do that. So it can also work wired, but then you also need to install some wires, which I didn't want to because it's just mounted in front of my door and there is no way I can get a wire through without drilling through the door, through the wall, which I don't want. That's why I use it in the battery mode, and just from time to time I probably have to take it off and charge it with the USB-C charging port. So as I've told you, the doorbell will call you when someone rings, so you can have a video call then with the doorbell, see who's in front, talk with the person in front. So this is really great, but also many people want to have a chime. That's basically this thing here, the doorbell chime, and you can install, I think, up to 6 doorbell chimes in your whole house, which will ring at the same time as someone presses the button. So this is also really great because the chimes, they are loud, louder than the one I have from another brand. And also you have different ringtones which you can adjust with one single tap on the button. So you don't have to go in the app, switch the ringtone if you're annoyed by it. You just go there, press one button. You can also have a different ringtone for every chime. So it's a pretty amazing product, and I really like this doorbell because no subscription, great quality, easy to mount, battery life is great, and the most important thing for me is that you receive a call when someone rings your doorbell. All right, that are basically the products from the hardware side, and now let's go on the smartphone and let's check out the software part. So guys, I'm using iOS here, but it also works on Android. Just the iPhone is my private main device, which I also use for work. So this is why I'm using it on iOS, but of course you have the same functionality also on Android. Now let's have a closer look. So let's open up the Yale app, and there we go. It's called Yale Home, and you can see here Stefan's house. So this is my house, and installed we have the front door, the lock, and the Yale doorbell. So if you go to house settings, you can actually see that there's also a keypad installed. The keypad is really great because you can just put in the key. You can have one key for each person, and with that you can unlock your lock. So even if your phone runs out of battery, you can just use the keypad to enter, which is great. So you never forget a key anymore because you have multiple options on how to enter. Of course, you can also tap the Yale dot, which will then open up the app and open your lock. Many people said the keypad may be not safe because of the while you see where you pressed, but I'm using it now for 1 year. There is no sign of wear on the buttons, so you cannot really tell which buttons I'm pressing. And also it's a 6-digit key, so in order to find out from the buttons pressed what is a 6-digit key, you have to take forever, and until then the keypad is already locked. So it's absolutely great. Also the Yale doorbell, if someone tries to enter with a wrong code or something like this, it will record the person. So I know already there is someone trying to enter or doing something with my lock, and I will already get a notification, can call the police or whatever. So it's really safe right now, and I feel really safe in my home with that. Now let's check out the lock settings. First of all, you can disable the lock sounds, which we have seen already before on the previous generation. For some settings, you have to be in Bluetooth mode, so you have to be next to your lock in order to change them, which I can do right now if I put in the battery. So let's do it. So if you don't want to have the lock sounds, you can disable them, but I actually like it. Then there's also the auto lock feature. So we have a little kid at home, and for me it's really important that the lock is locking itself after we just get in and close the door. And I gave it a timer of 30 seconds, but also you can say, for instance, to lock the lock every time at 6 p.m., 8 p.m. or whatever, so you don't forget to lock when you go to sleep or go to rest. Then also there's the door sense. This is basically the magnet which you have seen before. This is the old magnet, which you can see right over here. You just stick it to your door frame. And this is basically detecting if your door is open or closed, which is really important. You can also set the latch timing right over here. You can also enable privacy mode, and there's also tap to unlock, lock and unlocking by tapping the Yale dot. And as you can see, I have 1 dot installed, but you can install up to 5 dots and spread them over your home or just carry one with you. Also really important, you can calibrate the lock right over here. During the installation, it will ask you to calibrate it, and you have to follow that really exactly in order to make the lock work perfectly. So make sure you go through the calibration. It will ask you to do that anyway. And you can connect the lock directly to a Wi-Fi network because it has Wi-Fi built in. So this little thing blocking a power socket, you don't need it anymore with the new generation of the Yale Linus lock. And yeah, also for more safety and security, you can hide the entry codes or you can have verified access. So this means that you have to use Face ID or the fingerprint scanner before you can unlock your home, which is important because if someone steals your phone and they know your code or something like this, they cannot enter the home because they have to use biometrics in order to unlock. So if you want to have extra security, make sure to switch this feature on. Other than that, the lock is performing great. It is more silent. It is twice as fast as the previous generation. So from my side, there's an absolute purchase recommendation. Now let's have a closer look at the Yale video doorbell. So you can enable or disable the camera. If you just want to use it as a doorbell, fine, disable the camera. You can set the speaker volume. You can control also here the brightness. And also there is motion detection. So if you want that, you know, if something is going on in front of your door, turn this on. So if someone brings a package, I see some motion detected, I check, and maybe Amazon just puts a package in front of the door. There's also human detection, which is great. And the only things where you need a subscription is package detection. But if it also works for me, if it detects a person that most of the time is someone bringing a package, then it will show me that, yeah, they deliver a package. But if you want really that they see, that the camera sees, hey, there's a package, then you have to have the subscription. The same for vehicle detection. Now, all other motion detection, you can turn this also on or off, and you can set, of course, a detection and privacy zone, where the camera should detect, where it should not detect, etc., which is really important for Europe. Of course, the camera has also night vision, infrared, and the video quality, you can switch between here to high and medium. And medium, of course, 720p will probably give you a better battery life. Also, there's a video watermark, timestamps and logo. I set it to timestamps to just know on the video when the action was going on. And yeah, as you can see, you also have plenty of notifications. You can adjust if there's a motion alert or not. And you can install here also the indoor chime. That means you can install up to 6 of those doorbell chimes, which is really a lot. So even for big houses, that's not a problem at all, because they're also quite loud. Battery level after 2 weeks with quite a lot of activities at 82%. So battery life seems quite good. Now, if you want to invite guests to your home, you see that's my wife, that's me. I can just invite other people and give them, for instance, time-limited access to my house if someone is staying at my house. And the most important thing for me, there's a whole activity log, what has happened here. So I can see if the door has been locked or unlocked, and I can see exactly who was in front of my door. So you can see my wife here going in, going out. That's me just trying to film the log. And you see, you have a whole log with videos, and also you know who opened the front door, who went in, when did the person close. So it is really great. So if my wife says I left the door open or whatever, I can just say, yeah, no, it was you. You know, it's really great because you know what is going on in your house. Now, let's check out the video feed so you can actually see the quality. So let me connect from the Wi-Fi, which is from here upstairs, a bit slower because I have a bridge downstairs. And let's check it out. So here you have the view from my home. So basically here's the door. The doorbell is just pointing here to the entry with the plastic adapter. So it's a little bit angled, and it will tell me exactly if someone is coming in here through the gate, delivering something, or going here to my main door, which is really great. And in here you can also mute the sound or switch the sound on. You can mute or unmute the microphone. You can start recording a video if there's something going on you want to record. And also you can take, of course, screenshots. And yeah, of course, you have to allow access for that to your phone's storage. Other than that, well, that's pretty much everything from the Yale camera. It's a great doorbell, and it has one big button also with an LED, so people know where to press, which is also quite important. All right, it works also with Google Home, so you can integrate it to Google Home. You just have to log in through the Yale Home application. You go to Add New Device, choose Yale Home, and then you can also use your Google devices to control, for instance, the lock. Now guys, that's basically it. So as you can see, the app is quite simple. You have plenty of options to lock, unlock. You have a whole activity log if you want to, even with videos. Of course, this is everything customizable to your needs. Security wise, it just gives me a feeling that I'm more safe and secure at home because I know what's going on. I can limit access, etc. And I never forget to lock anymore because it has the auto lock feature. Another great feature is also the auto unlock. My wife sometimes carries a lot of bags, so she has auto unlock on. When it detects over GPS that she's coming home, it will already unlock the door and she can just walk through it. So plenty of great features. If you buy the lock, also make sure to adjust it really to your needs in the app because there are plenty of things to explore here. Now overall, that's basically it. I hope you really liked the introduction of the new Linus Smart Lock L2 and the Smart Video Doorbell. And let's come to my final conclusion. So guys, just a quick demonstration on how this lock works. So basically you have different options on how to enter. First of all, I've shown you the NFC tag. You can use the keypad, or what's actually the fastest option is the smartphone. So if you have the auto unlock enabled, you just walk to your door and it opens. If you don't have it enabled, you can do it in the app. So can you please open the door? Just tap, press on open. And as you hear, it is just opening the door and it is open. So let's close. As you can see, it snaps back in and it is closed. And to completely close, after a while it will do automatically depending on your setting, or you just tap and you hear it is closed. Then here we have the doorbell. So if I ring the doorbell, there will also be a notification on the phone. Now she's not the main owner, but I'm the main owner, so the doorbell is calling me, and it's basically a FaceTime call, so you can see the video stream and see who's in front of your door. So let's open it again. And there we go. Just tap, unlock, and boom, there we go inside. I don't have a handle here, but it opens more, so it automatically opens the door. And if you don't want to use any of those things, you can always use the keypad if your phone, for instance, is empty. And now I quickly want to show you the ringtones. So my wife is going to ring. We have one of the chimes here in the kitchen because we're most of the time here. And this is the ringtone. And you can adjust the volume. You can also adjust here the sound, as you can see, different sounds, and it is very loud. In comparison with other brands, this is actually the loudest chime I had in my home. And of course, guys, there's something I almost forgot to mention. This is the smart security ecosystem. Now, the cool thing is that all of the Yale devices, it doesn't matter if it's the lock, if it's surveillance cameras, if it's the intelligent doorbell, smart alarms or whatever, everything is powered by the Yale Home app. And the Yale Home app has also integrations for Google Home, for Alexa. So you can ask your Google Home to stream the doorbell, stream the cameras. And to do that, you just add it, for instance, in Google Home. I'm also a Google Home user, so I don't use Alexa, but it's very, very simple to connect Yale to your Google Home account, because all you have to do is just search for Yale, and here then you log in with your account and it's basically in your smart home system. So the smart security ecosystem with the Yale Home app is also pretty amazing, and it's not another thing you add to your home where you need an additional app for everything. Basically, if you want to have everything about security, you can just go with Yale products and everything combines in the Yale Home application. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching until the end of this video. Now let's come to my final conclusion. Is the Linus Smart Lock L2 and the Smart Video Doorbell worth it? Absolutely yes, really great products. But is it also worth it to upgrade from the original version? I would say it really depends. If you don't mind the slower speed and the noise and the bridge, and if you like that it has AA batteries and not a battery that you have to take out and charge in from time to time, then it's not worth upgrading because you're already happy with it. And well, normal batteries is also great from one side because you always have them at home. You don't need to take out and charge or get a second battery for a faster process. But for me personally, it was absolutely worth it to switch because it is so much faster and more silent. and feels like a more polished version than the original version. However, also I really liked the normal Yale Linus lock, so probably I will install it on another door. And it really comes down to personal preference. If you want to check it out, there are also great offers from other Yale products. So make sure to check out the links down below to the Yale website and the retailers. And if you have any more questions, then just feel free to ask and I'll try to answer it as soon as possible. Overall, absolutely great products, super happy with it. And what are you thinking about it? So big thanks for watching and see you again in the next one. Have a nice day and bye.